Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project365, episode 228. Today what we're talking about is internal rotation of the hip. You know, we mobilize into external rotation all the time, and sometimes internal rotation is neglected. However, it's still just as important as external rotation when we're in squatting, because we need relative internal rotation for the hips or the pelvis to pass the knees as we break down through parallel in the squat. So as our hip crease passes down past our knee, we need relative internal rotation at the hip joint to allow ourselves to fall into full depth. So let's just talk about real quick what we're talking about when we talk internal and external rotation. If I'm looking at a knee or the hip in with a flexed knee, right? Basically, if my heel comes inwards, okay, that's external rotation. So if you were thinking about it this way, that would be external rotation. This is external rotation. So if I was to straighten my leg and think about internal rotation, my knee cap coming in towards the inside of my body, that'd be internal rotation. So I can measure that by bending my knee, and what I'm really looking for is for my heel to go well outside my shoulder line as you guys look down here, right? If it's not, that could be contributing to either the excessive strain, wear and tear on my hip and groin area as I squat, or it could be limiting my ability to get into that full depth squat position to begin with, okay? So we got a real simple mobilization. Our retest is obviously a squat because that's what we're talking about. However, it portrays into all squatting activities, so your thrusters, your cleans, all those other type of things, snatches as well. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna bend our knee to 90 degrees or so, and you'll see how it kind of comes out to the side, right? What I'm looking at doing here is I'm just trying to take my right butt cheek, in this case, it's whichever side that leg is, and you're gonna try to touch the ground with it, right? So you can see how if I go up like that, it's not touching the ground. If I use this leg to kind of push off, and I can kind of like really try to grind that hip, that butt cheek down to the ground, just be wary of this, guys. Keep in mind, feel any sharp, tingling type pain, obviously we're not trying to injure ourselves. It's a self-limiting type of thing. You guys have to use some common sense here when you're looking at like, oh, does this hurt too much? Is it that sharp type of pain, or is that stretching type of pain? Because whenever we're working with joints and joint capsules and stuff like that, just be careful with that, okay? Now, moving onward, but say we're that person that no matter what, we're always kind of up like that. There's a way that we can do this to kind of assist ourselves. This is a 70-pound kettlebell. You can obviously use one that's a little bit lighter, okay? But what we're going to do is try to get into that same position. We're just going to apply this sucker onto the top of the hip joint. I can hold it with one hand just like that. And now what I'm going to do is just use my opposite foot to try to push off. I could lift it up if I wanted to, but it just works better for me like this. Try to push off, and now this kettlebell is keeping my hip kind of planted to the ground as I try to touch my butt. So here's my butt upwards as I try to touch my butt to the ground right there, okay? So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to mobilize into internal rotation. We have a squat, re-squat as our test. Try it out, see if you can do it, see what happens, see your results. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but either way, it's still an attempt of optimizing function to optimize performance. We'll see you guys tomorrow.